Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Herbal Tea Thursday. It's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Giovanni. Y'all, we got a special guest in the house. All right, it's not Nayetta.
Hi, thank you for having me here. Woo!
Yo, we got Nayetta today. She is one of our accountability sisters. Shireen was unable to make it today. She might show up in the chat, but y'all, Shireen will be back next week. Send us some love. Send us some good vibes. Okay, send us some good vibes. Nayetta, what you drinking on today?
I am a coffee person, so I am drinking coffee. I won't say the brand
Oh,
name, but I'm drinking coffee with the extra shots.
gotcha. Instead of herbal tea, I got some coconut water.
Oh, okay. The
In my
what is it called?
chocolate mug.
What is it called? Cocoa.
Come on, Cocoa Joy. You're not
Yeah.
saying the name, but it's the Cocoa Joy, the natural coconut water. It's one of my top favorites, y'all. It's Harmless Harvest, Cocoa Joy, and C2O. Man, those are my top three coconut water choices that I can get here in the US, because there are some other ones that I've tried out of the country that have been absolutely amazing. But those are my top three. I've absolutely been loving Cocoa Joy. But I got it in my Empire Plates, Empire Lies mug. Y'all, link in the description. Pull up to the forwardvibrations.com shop. You can get your mugs, your t-shirts, your hoodies, but you can also get some of the most important products like your hot water bottle, your uterine massage belt, your weighted blanket, a yoga mat, all things to help you with your healthy habits and lifestyle changes. You
I
ready to get
love it. I
you ready?
love it. I am. I think I'm ready. Shireen got some big shoes. Well, I have some big shoes to fill. Stepping in for Shireen. So there's no other vibe, but I'm here.
Just be you. There's no other activity playhouse.
That is true. Yes, by the way, I'm Nayetta. The owner and founder of the Activity, also known as the Mom Playologist. I help educate moms, stay-at-home moms or work-from-home moms with little ones under 5 on how to teach their little ones in a fun and engaging way. So make sure you're following me on all platforms. Subscribe. We're in the middle of creating a community just for you all to connect with like-minded moms and for us to just talk about, how homeschooling sometimes ghetto, how it's such a wonderful experience sometimes, and how our babies are sometimes rude but also geniuses. So just stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so make sure if you are following Nayetta's is on YouTube as well. You won't see her information in the description of my video. You'll see me and Shireen. So make sure you go over. If you're on Facebook, make sure you slide over to me and Shireen's YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe, like this video. Make
Yes.
sure you share it to someone else that might be a homeschool mom or a stay-at-home mom, because Nayetta has something special she's launching soon just for the stay-at-home moms. But make sure you get on over. Nayetta, what's the channel name so they can make sure they subscribe and share your YouTube channel?
Everything is the Activity Playhouse. The Activity Playhouse, because we love to play. We don't like worksheets. I won't say hate because it's a strong word, but everything is the Activity Playhouse because we play.
I love it. I'm about to pull it up right now and drop it in the chat so y'all can make sure you have the right person.
It's only one.
Here we go. So I want y'all to make sure y'all go subscribe to our accountability sister Nayetta's YouTube channel, and make sure you also send it to someone else that you know is a homeschool mom or just has children under the age of 5 that could benefit from stimulating activities that could benefit. Here we go, Nayetta. You ready?
Ooh, let's see.
What is your mission in life? And what is your purpose? What are you here for?
So I feel like my mission in life is to take care of my family. Good or bad, right or wrong, I honestly feel like my mission is to take care of my family. And I've slowly just started to accept that. It's a tough mission, Lord. It's a tough mission.
What's your purpose?
My purpose in life is to connect with kids. I truly feel that is my purpose, to let them know that someone sees them, to let them know that beautiful, they're intelligent, they're free to be themselves. That is truly my purpose.
Like it. I absolutely like it. And what are you here for?
I just said it. That's my mission.
Said
I was
mission,
the question. Oh,
purpose, and here for.
I am here. So I'm new, y'all. Don't get me in the chat. I'm new. I'm getting it together. I mean, outside, so it kind of connects with my mission and my purpose. So with taking care of my family and being that person that is like the magnet for the kids and the the older kids as well. I feel like my purpose is to change my generation, change the dynamics of my family. I feel like that's why I'm here, to
I
change the
love it.
narrative.
I absolutely love it. And we got
Well, thank
all
you.
shoot saying that's a beautiful purpose. I
Thank you.
absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. All right. What is my mission in life? My mission is life. I feel like my mission in life is to continue to embrace my life transparently in a state of healing. So always being able to like be transparent with my own healing journey because it never stops. So I feel like that's my mission. And while that's my mission, I feel like my purpose is to empower and inspire others to be intentional about their healing journey. So that way they know that they deserve to live a more vibrant life. And that's only possible if you're being intentional on what you're healing from the inside out. What I'm here for to be a beacon of love and light and to spread more vibes to anyone who's willing to catch it and be attracted to it. I think that's what I'm here for. I think that's what we're gonna go with our self-care empowerment check-in card. That's
That
what we
is definitely what you're here for. Your vibes are unmatched, Jojo. Like if someone runs into you, they will never forget you for the rest of their life. You hear me? Like the rest of their life.
now you don't know about all that. I don't know about
I'm,
that,
I'm
but
telling you.
but so today we are talking about vision and execution. But before we get in it, let's get our wellness wins in the chat. So if you're watching this live, drop your wellness win for this week in the chat for me. Nayetta, we need wellness wins. You want me to go first?
What, and break down what the wellness win is, because I'm not new to the live, but I'm new on the live, and you may have some people that's new in the chat. So break down what the wellness win is
So
for.
we're homeschool teacher giving instructions on the activity playhouse, podcast host. So the wellness win is anything you found to be a win for you. Wellness, there's multi dimensions of wellness, from financial, physical, emotional, mental, health, all of those different facets of wellness. And so something that you find was successful or something that you were able to accomplish in regards to any of those dimensions of wellness, that is when you shout yourself out for that. So anything you feel like you were able to do or accomplish that you feel good about it, that it was a win for you, is what you're dropping in the chat for your wellness win.
Okay.
So you got it now. Go ahead. What's your wellness win?
I think I have two.
Okay, go ahead.
I have two. One was my patience this past week with my kids, because it's always a challenge being around granddad. You seen it in person, child. It takes a lot of patience to deal with my kids when they're with granddad, and the after effect of being with granddaddy when we get back home and in the routine, because we don't hear our kids. And sometimes when things get tough and we get frustrated, that's usually the first thing that you try to go to because that's all you know. So just having that patience to not backtrack into that mindset of, oh, I need to whoop him or pop her for what they said and how they behave, but actually taking a step back, taking a minute to myself and just having a conversation with them. And that win is combined with my husband because my husband doesn't have as much patience as me at all. And my baby got down going to the barbershop today, and I was proud of my husband. So both of us having patience this week. And then the second thing was executing after this podcast summit. Like I've executed a couple of things, and I was surprised because I be ready to quit every day, y'all. So, but every day, okay. So I'm
At
just
least once a month. At least once a month.
at least once a month. So that's one of my wins of actually executing instead of quitting because it's day by day.
I absolutely love that. Somebody needed that word. Somebody needed that word in regards to being patient with your kids. When the trying gets the trying. But most importantly, like not just your win, but being able to see a win for parentinghood. And being able to do that as well with your husband. So I think that was beautiful. I love that. I'm gonna have to say, my wellness win would have to be taking some well-needed naps. Sleep hygiene is definitely important. I had to take a nap before we got on this live, and it was just like I was thinking about everything we had talked about, and we'll get into vision and execution earlier today. And then I was just like, you know what? I think I'm getting sleepy. And I just closed everything down, shut it all down, had my weighted blanket on, and I just closed my eyes and went to sleep. I did the same thing yesterday before a podcast recording. And when I got on with my other fellow endometriosis sister, she said she just woke up from a nap too. And
Don't
she
you
also
feel good?
girl, she was also at the podcast summit. She was tired, needed to, refresh, rejuvenate. And so I'm going to say my wellness win has been getting in some well-needed naps over the last couple of days and just getting that rest. And that's important. It's truly important.
Very important.
Rest your eyes, rest your body, but most importantly, rest your mind when you feel like you need to keep going, execute, because your vision is getting bigger, and possibly clearer. And all these are the options of things that you could be doing. So it was the sleep hygiene for me with taking the naps. I'm a teacher on summer break, baby. I get to take a little bit more naps, even though you already know I get those naps in at school too. Pull up to the break room if I need a good pineapple, lay my head on my desk on a planning period for a good reset. Y'all, if we haven't told you, we are podcast hosts, and we went to the Podcast Summit 2024 this year in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's your Healthy Habits and Lifestyle Coach Giovanni, host of the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. And I'm here with
Nayetta.
the Activity Playhouse podcast.
It's the host of Let Kids Play podcast, embracing the fact that the kids need to play. It's 95 degrees outside. I need y'all to stop singing that glow song because it has not dropped below 95 since y'all started singing it. But we still need to get outside for at least 15 to 20 minutes with these kids. So tap into my podcast.
I just learned the right words to the song. Thanks to Nayetta when they were singing it at the podcast summit, and I thought they were saying something totally different. So I do not contribute to the high heat temperatures here on planet Earth.
Oh my God.
So, and we're not going to say what I thought I was saying, but it's all good, y'all. Our podcasts are on all podcast distribution platforms. Y'all, please
everywhere
your favorite podcast distribution platform and give our podcast a rating. If you can pull up, listen to an episode or two, share it with somebody, but most importantly, give us a rating. We are looking at those metrics, and we are being very intentional about our purpose and our mission with our podcast platforms. And we also have our podcast on our YouTube channel. So if you are, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, let us know that you're there. like it, and share it with somebody else. So we getting into this vision and execution, Nayetta. Vision and execution.
Okay.
Podcast Summit 2024. What came to mind in regards to your vision, and possibly who inspired it when you were able to engage at Podcast Summit 2024?
So my vision before or after?
After you experienced the Podcast Summit, and who or whose played a part in enhancing that vision after interacting with them at the Podcast Summit?
So my vision now for the rest of the year is to focus on getting more leads meaning connecting with more moms that need my help, because I know I talk about the quitting part of it, because the business and the behind the scenes part is not my favorite part. It's not my ideal part. But connecting with the moms, especially connecting with the little ones, and just remembering that they need me. They really do. They need my resources. And I need them because, that's my purpose. That's my way of feeling fulfilled. So my vision is to now understand that I can't quit. It's a kid out there that needs me. Believe it or not, it's a mom out there that's trying to figure out, like, how do I teach my kid to jump? How do I teach my kid these words and they won't sit down? Or a mom out there, especially a stay-at-home mom, like my husband's traveling. What do I do with these two kids and not drive myself crazy? Who do I talk to? So my vision is understanding, like, you can't quit and you need to go connect with these moms. And who inspired my vision? I broke it down in my terms, but Dan Priestley, or Daniel, I call him Dan because we on a first name basis now. um, He inspired my vision the most, because pretty much we talk about, like, not getting sales and not being where we want to be in our business, and it's like, well, are you getting leads? Are you getting people interested in your services and stuff like that? So he was the biggest inspiration. And then, believe it or not, it was somebody that wasn't on stage. It was somebody that I connected with. Actually, I think he on stage. He wasn't on stage. But the Tulums guy, he has a apparel brand. So he talked to me about some things, as far as not selling like t-shirts and stuff, but selling simple kits for the parents to use. And then Ashley Adana was a big one for Summer Fun Fest, with the vision and which way to go with that as well. So my vision for the business and Summer Fun Fest is so much clearer now after Podcast Summit 2024. And just, being in the room, like, we're gonna be real. Well, no other way to be. I didn't want to go both days. I kind of didn't want to be in the scenes, be around, because that's just not me. But I'm so glad that I almost didn't make it because life was life. And with 3 kids, life was life. But I made it. I'm glad God allowed me to be in the room, to be in the space, to see JoJo in person, to see Shireen in person, all the way from Toronto, to see Cynthia in person, and for my kids to meet them. Like, yeah, I know I'm going past the vision, but the vision is it's so many pieces to that vision, and I connected so many dots, because my vision also was for my kids to see that you can meet someone safely online, and the right way to do it, and also how to meet them in person, because you see so many kids getting become missing or getting snatched up because they met somebody online and it wasn't the right way. So me telling my kids, oh, you don't talk to people online because XYZ, get them your address, but then they see me talking to people online. So they know, like, okay, first it starts with the chat, then you have to do a video with them. I've been talking to them for a year, and now
Nayetta, you got spicy on us. You was in there. So, y'all, while we get Nayetta back, the Podcast Summit 2024 was absolutely amazing. It, from speakers to the people that was in the lobby walking around, everybody that you met. For me, it was multiple people who I felt like enhanced my vision and inspired me to execute a little bit more. The first person I'm gonna say is Brandy Harvey. Like, she was on day 2, and what she did for me in a podcast standpoint was she said, it's separation in the preparation. And I'm not quite sure if you have ever heard of Brandy Harvey or ever listened to her own podcast, but the way that she prepares for her podcast guests, it sets out for no other. So what I was able to do, and you'll check it out in episode 44 that dropped yesterday on the Empower Plates and Power Lives podcast, 45 and 46, because I recorded Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So you'll see how I introduce my guests, and it has really made them feel totally different, and it gives the podcast a totally different vibe. So that was important for me. Omar El Takori, he didn't start his podcast until after the Podcast Summit 2023 in September, same time I started a podcast. And his approach, not really to thumbnails, but his approach to treating the conversation like a masterclass. So when people come to your podcast, they should be learning so much about a certain topic. And it's okay if the conversation kind of flows in different directions, but to just have massive value about a specific topic. And I truly believe when you look at episode 44, 45, and 46, you're going to see a different type of conversation flow, let alone value in the conversation. And then it was Dave. Dave had this video of where he started from Dorito Dave, and you could just see him from the beginning few episodes of his Social Proof podcast. And he's now at like over 400 something episodes, him and Donnie. But it was seeing the transformation, and it was respect the small. And so the respect the small was just like an absolute amazing vibe for everybody in the room, for those who hadn't started a podcast, for those who already started a podcast and hadn't really picked up a whole bunch of, subscribers or audience. Like, their community was still small. They were like, respect the small. And what Donnie said was just be you. Being you is your fastest way to success, and really picking up momentum to be able to scale. And so with Dave and Donnie, it was respecting the small and seeing their transformations over time. But the vibe of Podcast Summit, it's the only business event that I've ever really gone to, or business conference I've ever gone to. And it doesn't feel like your traditional business conferences that I would assume people are like dress, tie, this, that. Like, it's the DJ in the room, getting the vibes going. It's for the culture. It's like a family reunion, handling business, being real, massive value, connections. Like, the speakers don't just talk on the stage and then they're gone and you never see them anymore and they're backstage. They are working the floor. Like, if you see them out in the lobby, you can go up and ask personal questions. So like you heard Nayetta saying, she was talking to certain people and working the room. Nayetta was working the floor. And what she also forgot to tell you is she took her son with her, DeMarcus, her oldest, and he actually was out there selling and representing his business. He made like $157, to the point where when I saw DeMarcus and came outside one of the sessions, he said he was so happy that he had tears in his eyes. He wanted to cry because he had made so much money and people supported his brand. So not only is she a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom, but she's also raising entrepreneurs and getting them in rooms and experiences for them to be able to promote themselves. And so again, what business conferences or conference spaces are you allowed to bring your kids and allow your kids to be working the room and selling products as well? So Podcast Summit is a whole different vibe. And that too was an inspiration to my vision. Is Nayetta's already said it, Shireen's already said it, and y'all know these are my accountability partners, but creating more live events. And when they were like, Dallas, let's go, me and Cookie Brown, the host of the Dirty Bad podcast, representing Dallas, we got on the floor and we were getting into some Duro. But it's all about repping the places where you're a host as a podcast, because neither one of us are from Dallas, but it's all about being live together in a space with other podcasters and being able to just let the vibes flow, represent, and just be proud of what it is that you're creating. Podcast isn't just a place where you go and talk. Podcasting is a business, one, and it is driving so many different elements of your business and people to you through conversation, through experiences, through conversations. But most importantly, we're leaving a legacy. The conversations we have today, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, those conversations are still going to be relevant and valuable to whoever needs to hear them when they come across our podcast. And so that was inspirational within itself. But just the live events, like it felt good to be live, be around other people. And it was like, yeah, I need to do more live events, because last year at the podcast, the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast networking dinner. And when I tell you, people who attended that last year was like, we ain't having the dinner again this year. We're not having a dinner again with the plant-based chef. And then they even went to the dinner that was a part of the event that was for the higher ticket. It was like, that dinner didn't have nothing to do with your dinner you gave us, the way you fed us. And so it made me think about, how can I expand the Nourish and Flourish vibes, the plant-based experiences, to other people in a live setting. So that is something that added to my vision, is people wanted it. It was a demand. I gave them a taste last year. They wanted to see it again this year. So people like that experience. So it's kind of like, okay, how can I start making this a little bit more of a regular? How can I incorporate this aspect into an event that people would want to attend and go to? And so I started creating like this idea a while back, with one of my friends, and it was kind of like a chopped version with also kind of like a little talk show mixed into it, but maybe having like a guest come up and help the chef create based on the mystery boxes, and the people that are in the audience, they get to select an item that they might want in the mystery box for the chef to create, like some type of fruit, vegetable, to make it kind of transform. So we were talking a little bit more about that today, and we were kind of getting excited about that big idea of what it could look like, to be able to execute.
Let's make it a reality.
And we were talking, I think we will. We just need to find that right chef, because the chefs weren't us, who was willing to experience that and, have those people come through. But that was one of the visions that we were able to have. But the person who I think impacted my experience the most was a lady. When I sent her in the group, in the app, my channel, I asked everyone to subscribe, because my accountability sisters charged me to get 500 subscribers before I left, because I think I was at like 370, 380 something. And they were like, let's try to get 500 subscribers before you leave. And so I put it out in the app to get more people to follow my podcast, because I'm in a room full of podcasters. So, people might want to see what other people have. They might want to see what you're talking about, what your topic is, and also share it to other people they knew. The lady was looking for a Giovanni, and so she so happened to find Nayetta, my accountability sister, and she was like, who are you looking for? And she told her. And so Nayetta called me. I wasn't even down in the lobby yet, and I got down there, and the lady was like, oh my goodness, it wasn't the link that you dropped, the episode that you dropped. It was another one. It was the one with Natasha. I think it was episode 42. And she was like, that was such an amazing episode. You shouldn't have 400 subscribers. You should have 400,000 subscribers. And at that point, I was like, oh my goodness. I had never gotten that type of feedback before from somebody that I do not know, that they found the podcast so beneficial, and that they believed that so much more people needed to be able to hear those podcasts and experience those conversations. And so that was like a beautiful thing for me. And then the other one that goes right underneath it, just a smidgen, was there was a speaker on stage, I think being a part of the hot seat, and she had endometriosis. And so many people, once they heard that she had endometriosis, started coming to me. It was like, did you hear the girl on stage? She has endometriosis. Did you know the girl on stage had endometriosis? You might want to connect with her. Hey, JoJo, the girl in the pink, she got endometriosis. So it showed me that people knew what my target audience was and who I was trying to help, but also endometriosis, PCOS, what I'm trying to raise more awareness about. So those people feel seen, they feel heard, but more importantly, they know that somebody is there for them, that is willing to empower them to find ways to reduce their not so good experiences with those chronic conditions. And so it allowed me to feel really good about being a authority of empowerment for those with endometriosis and PCOS. So some of those things and people inspired me to really keep the vision going, being more creative, but to just come back and get ready to execute. Because if you don't execute, you won't get the things that you know you deserve, and you won't be able to have the impact that you want to have because you're not doing anything and you're expecting it to either just come to you or just kind of fall in your lap. And it doesn't work like that. So like Nayetta was saying before she got spicy on us, it's all about the leads and really getting intentional on how I'm attracting people to what it is that I have to offer for them, because I know it's very beneficial for their success, for their life, but just because I want them to feel good, feel loved, and feel seen. And feel better. What's up, now? Welcome back.
My phone overheated.
It's all good. It's all good. But
I apologize.
No, you're okay. I loved it. I think it was a big thing. I don't think the podcast summit is something that I ever would want to miss, because it's such a unique experience. And being that we were a part of it the first year, the second year, I can only imagine being able to see its growth while seeing us grow, because I knew I was not the same podcast host that I was the year before. And I could tell that all of the implementation and the execution we had been doing for that year, since being at the conference, it was a totally different vibe. We were getting things totally different when it came to certain stuff. So I'm just grateful for the podcast for bringing us together as accountability sisters, me, you, Shireen, and Cynthia. But most importantly, just our growth together. And we thought we just going to be 90 days after the podcast summit to hold us accountable to our vision and execution of what we learned last year has now turned into a lifetime good and accountability as podcast hosts, but also help each other build their business ecosystem through podcasting. Right. Describe it. Got anything else you want to say, Nayetta, about your execution?
No, I like that you. I didn't necessarily forget, but I like that you mentioned the impact that my son had, because not only oldest I brought him because I didn't know how the other two were gonna do. But I know how DM was gonna do, my 4-year-old. But it impacted him, and he was almost in tears, and he's 11, so he loved the experience, which is something that they don't use that word that much. But bringing it back to his siblings, so he brought it back to my daughter, who created the wristbands with him, and he's like, "Here's your percentage," and he talked about that on the way home, like, we made the bands together, but I went out and sold it. So how does this work? So we're now having different conversations. It's like, what percentage does she get? Does she get a percentage? Is it a silent partner? How does this partnership work? So it was an amazing conversation. I was so proud of him, because I was gonna say, well, give her 15%. He gave her 25%. She was ecstatic. And just going, them moving forward on how we can truly have a partnership, because they're having conversations adults can't even have themselves, on how does this percentage work. It's a small amount of money, but still just having the knowledge and being able to have that conversation and think of that on their own. I loved it.
I like it too. And I think the beautiful part about it, not only is it children and you're raising entrepreneurs, but you just hit on the importance of partnerships. And that's something else they talk about. Like, it's power in collaboration and being strategic with the collaboration that you create. And so you don't feel like you have to do all of this by yourself. Like, bring different audiences, different communities together. You never know who might need a little bit more of something else from other people. And it's like, put everybody else on as well as, like, we're better together than we are separated and isolated. And so I love it. So let's get ready to close this thing out. I think you a little bit. You got your AC on?
Yes, can we turn it off?
Yeah, we can hear it. It's blowing off. It was like you talking about this 95 degrees.
My phone was on ring, so I was like, let me turn it up. I turned it down because I knew it would be loud, but I was like, let me turn it up since my phone overheating.
Nah, you all right. It's all good. We caught the value in what you had to say. I was listening hard.
Thank you.
Well, let's get ready to close this thing on out. Y'all, we absolutely appreciate y'all for tuning in for another Herbal Tea Thursday, a wellness live series. Again, Shireen will be here next week. We had Nayetta filling in, pulling up so she can give you her vision and execution. But most importantly, let the stay-at-home moms know that there's somebody out here rooting for you, as well as the homeschool moms, letting you know that there's activities out here that you can stimulate your kids help them grow, help them learn, help them evolve. And so Nayetta, let them know again where they can find you, who you are in the podcast.
Once again, JoJo and Shireen, thank you all for having me on your Herbal Tea Thursdays. I'm Nayetta, the mom playologist, the owner and founder of the Activity Playhouse, the host of Let Kids Play podcast, and you can find me on all platforms at the Activity Playhouse.
I love it. Y'all, it's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Giovanni, and I help those with endometriosis and polycystic ovary syndrome reduce chronic pain, eliminate stress, and minimize irregular or heavy periods through my M to the third degree healing empowerment formula. Y'all, click the link in the description of this video, fill out the application, and let me know how I can help you. I am here for you. I want to support you. But also, if you're looking for some ways to start eating healthier, I got 5 juice and smoothie recipes on my anti-inflammatory guide. Download that free guide. It also goes over different mindset activities. It also talks about different herbs and spices that help reduce inflammation, as well as different movement activities that help with stress management. So make sure you get that free guide. Start utilizing it. See if it helps you feel any better. And if you don't know how to use it, still contact me so I can help you out and find the best unique way, because it's your healing, it's your journey, it's all about you and what's going to work for you. And if you want to rep the brand, support the brand, click the link to the shop, get all your much needed products, but most importantly, y'all merch to rep B baby. Most importantly, y'all, we love you. We thank you. Thanks for vibing with us, y'all.
Bye.